Welcome to Part 1 on Foundational Techniques. These are techniques that have a wide variety of uses and will be used throughout the rest of the modules. So don't worry if you aren't sure how to apply each technique because examples will be given throughout the rest of the modules. They include teaching yes and no, establishing a switch access site, and using tools you already have in your environment. Throughout Module 1, we will be applying ideas to the book Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus by Mo Willems. Our first technique is establishing a clear yes and no for each student. I would start by asking them to show me your yes and show me your no. If they gesture, head shake, or nod, or have a clear facial expression, let them know what you are observing and that you will be interpreting that expression as yes. Do the same for no. If they only have one, you can let them know, I see a smile for yes, but nothing for no. So if you don't show me anything, I'm taking that as a no. If you don't have a clear yes or no, you could begin to establish one or both by using a small single message button that you place on the side of the head, and when the student turns to the button, it will say no. Similarly, one can be placed on the top of the head, and when the student moves their head slightly up or even looks up, you can just press the switch for the voice output of yes. See the video for a demonstration of this technique. There are many acceptable ways for students to indicate yes and no. Single message buttons, head shakes, facial expressions, thumbs up and thumbs down are a few that come to mind.
Here's an application idea. Use the context in the book Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus to practice yes and no. Ask each student if they would like to drive the bus. Expand on this idea by asking if they would like to drive something else. Each time you flip the page to this book, there is an opportunity for your student to show their no.
Throughout the rest of the modules, you may need an alternative way for a student to indicate that's the one when given multiple choices, or an alternative way to access curriculum and a keyboard. In a complex body, this requires an established and reliable switch site. That's a site where you place the switch that your child can access independently, not hand over hand, and reliably, not a movement that's part of a startle reflex. There are different sensitivities to switches, and a proximity switch could be used for small movements. Be sure you connect the switch to a preferred activity that matches their sensory strengths when establishing the switch site, without the demands of language just yet. For example, a switch-activated bubble machine might be great for a young child, but a vibrating toy might be best for a student with low vision.
Here are some switches we've talked about and some motivating activities to practice switch use. You can download the handout in the download section to link out to some of these switches. Did you know that children with special needs often need to practice a motor plan 250 times before they can become automatic with that movement? This is why it's so important to have many different ways to practice switch access. If you're still working with a student to discover how they're going to access the switch, check out the Finding a Switch Site video.
When you're ready to apply literacy to your newly found switch site, you can record a reoccurring phrase in a book and have a student participate in a shared reading activity by hitting the switch that reads the reoccurring line. For example, in The Hungry Caterpillar, each page he eats something new and it says, but he was still hungry. The switch access is so much more engaging than turn the page. Always encourage students by acknowledging, you read that. It's never too early to help students believe that they are meant to be readers and writers. This handout lists some books with reoccurring phrases, but it's certainly not an exhaustive list. You can have a student pick a book, and if it doesn't have a reoccurring phrase, add your own. Even if it's a, oh man, or a, uh-oh. Have fun with this idea. If right about now you're thinking, I have a lot to learn, we want to assure you that you know more than you think you know. Everything you already know about reading still stands. These modules are here to help you apply what you already know to children with complex communication needs. So use the letters and words you already have hanging in your room. Use items, objects, pictures as you normally would. Use pencil and paper, pen and smartboard, or whatever you have to continue to provide a high print environment. You got this.